I just love living in Tennessee because we have a wonderful choice of native plants to deal with, and I'm thinking about bringing a bunch more of them into my garden, but I'm a little scared of it. So I've come out to Warner Parks to talk to Deb Beasley, our naturalist out here. And Deb, I want you to help me with some of my fears. And one of them is something I don't believe here, which is ferns growing. I've wanted ferns, but I don't have any water for ferns or any shade.
Okay, well, I discovered in trying to design a fern garden that many ferns do prefer shade and a moist environment, but there are some native ferns that like it more dry and sunny, and woodsia would be one like that. So we've sort of created a stone wall effect here and planted a woodsia right on the rocks, and it's very happy here without much moisture, a lot of sun. And then also the resurrection fern is happy on rocks, and in fact prefers to grow on rocks or logs, either one. So resurrection fern is a very easy one to grow, and interesting because it dries up when it does get very dry outside, and then it gets green again when it's wet. So that's nice. Fragile fern is fun because it makes a great big patch. Once you'll give it several years of growth, it'll make a big patch for you, come up early in the spring with the spring wildflowers, and be nice all through the summer with a very light green color and a good matte forming fern.
Now there's some ferns over here that I see, Deb, that seem to have a little more shade, a little more moisture, and they're gorgeous varieties. What do we have here?
Yeah, this is glade fern. Glade fern is our biggest non-evergreen fern. It's deciduous. It dies back in the wintertime, starts growing in the spring, and it does need some dappled sunlight, mostly shade, and a good bit of moisture. But that's a nice large fern there.
Well, Deb, this is fantastic. There seem to be at least, about a dozen varieties here, and there's a wonderful choice of ferns. And now let's go look at something else you have that intrigues me. A lot of people have ponds, and they have tropicals, but you have something different. Let's go take a look at it.
Okay.
Well, Deb, a lot of people have ponds, and it seems like all they can think about to have around the ponds are tropical things you'd find in Florida. But you have a gorgeous pond here at the Nature Center with tropical looking things, and I gather they are Tennessee native. So what are they?
They certainly are, and as we concentrate on planting native plants, we created a wetland here at the pond with and planting blue pickerel weed, which is a gorgeous plant that attracts lots of insects and also hummingbirds. We did put a few cattails in here. We'll have to limit their growth a little bit. They're so aggressive. We planted some lizard's tail, another wetland species. We've got arrowhead, Sagittaria in here.
And then there's a beautiful little round thing I see. What is that?
Yeah, these are the very nice little round blossoms of burr reed, which is a nice wetland plant. And there's various sedges and rushes in here too. So there's a good variety of native plants that would like to have their feet wet.
Well, there's such wonderful choices. And now, of course, let's go look at what probably most of us really think of right off that we want as a border, which is a wonderful butterfly garden.
Yeah, let's go look at the butterfly garden.
Butterfly gardens are all the rage and nice borders and everything. And Deb, I can't believe that anyone, after seeing this one, would want to have a butterfly garden without having this wonderful Tennessee coneflower, which I understand is endangered.
Well, it is an endangered plant, and it's a beautiful plant. It's an echinacea and rare now. Its habitat is disappearing quickly. So it loves the sun, so it's very happy here in the open, sunny butterfly gardens.
You have some other wonderful things, this fantastic orange butterfly weed.
It's hard to beat these bright orange flowers. They're just gorgeous. The butterfly weed, of course, the food plant for the monarch butterfly, and providing nectar for adult insects as well. And then the swamp milkweed with the pink flowers is nice, also providing nectar for adults. So with the butterfly gardens, we're trying to provide plants that will offer food for adults with nectar, and then food plants for caterpillars as well.
Absolutely, and then one of the design tips that certainly people can get out here is this wonderful white yarrow and how it just makes the other colors around it really pop out.
Yarrow's nice with the white flowers, and it has the very fragrant foliage as well. and insects will cover this plant. Lots of nectar provided there, and it's very, very hardy, as all of these natives are. Once you get them established in the ground, maintenance is so very low. That's a main reason people would want to plant native plants.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of fragrant, we've got some wonderful Monarda over here. Let's go look at it.
Now this is gorgeous over here.
Native plants are such a wonderful thing to have. I know you've had these in for about a year and they got settled in pretty quickly?
Yes, they did. This is actually their second year of growth, and the Monarda has been a thing to take over the garden, but I'm happy that it is. I'm not concerned about that. A beautiful native bee balm, the Monarda here. The yarrow again, and this dogbane is very nice. All of these plants loving full sun. So our selection had to be plants that liked a lot of sun with this particular bed, and then as well as plants that would bloom in the spring, summer, and fall. So we've got some that are just coming up and not quite bloomed yet. That would include the ironweed up here, and some Joe Pye weed, and the black-eyed Susan over here.
Well, it's a fantastic collection, and you also have the coral honeysuckle, our native honeysuckle, that people can just rip out that invasive stuff they have, put these in and attract the hummingbirds.
That honeysuckle made a tremendous show in the spring. It was covered with blooms. Now it just has a few, but the hummingbirds love it as well as the butterflies.
Well, it looks like there are so many things we haven't even had a chance to talk about. The trees, the bushes, the wonderful wildflowers in the spring and the fall. And I really appreciate you having us out here, Deb. And I know that people can come out pretty much any time and take a look at the gardens out at Warner Park.
That's right. We've got native landscaping all over the grounds, and we're happy to talk with people about it and help them understand what they can plant in their given site.
Well, great. And I've got some wonderful ideas for my own garden. Thanks for your help, Deb.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you liked this video, you're going to love everything else that we have in our archives and running currently. Go to our channel, click subscribe, and continue watching. See you next time.